What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the AV podcast. How's it going? First, this is the second video. And yes, we are still currently calling it the AV podcast still. We're still looking for some names. I actually have a couple of podcast names here, but we'll get into that in a minute. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone for their much needed feedback for the podcast. I appreciate it so much. And sorry, I had to check the audio. And yeah, thank you for the feedback. I got some really good feedback. One of them was lighting. And I wrote this down myself, but I did have it from someone else where they said the lighting was kind of janky, didn't look right. So we're currently filming this during the day, and you get that natural light, So I'm gonna work on trying to get like natural light fixture, so that way if I have to do it at night, I can do it at night, so that I don't get the janky light fixtures that I have in my room currently. Okay, like I said, before we get into anything, this podcast is currently brought to you by Out of the Blue Beadwork. It's by Linda. She does customized and personalized jewelry out of beads, of course, but of course they have meaning behind them. So, they have lava rocks, they have, certain stones, they have some, handcrafted things that she makes, and they're phenomenal. Here's some pictures. And you guys could check her out at, Out of the Blue Beadwork on Instagram. I do follow her on the podcast page, so you guys can check her out there if you need a just quick check it out. Her link's also going to be in the description. She does do online orders. On there's going to be, specific items, that she sells, just to here and there. But if you do want a custom one, I'm sure she can go ahead and do you the favor of doing that. And yeah, thank you, Linda. And hope everything goes well with the business. But also, everyone check them out. Fantastic jewelry. All right, now back into the podcast real quick. Happy belated Valentine's Day. I know last Thursday was Valentine's Day, but yeah, not the biggest fan of it. My week was pretty eventful. Didn't work that much, but got a lot of school work done for that one. And on Valentine's Day, I forgot that it was Valentine's Day. And when I was coaching, it wasn't as calm as I thought it would be. Kids love sugar, But nonetheless, coming home, just taking a nap, chilling, I was okay with it. What else happened last week that I could just recap real quick? So at school, okay, to make it clear, like I posted it on my Instagram. So at school, so I go to UTA. So one of my teachers, the very first day of class, she announces that, GroupMe, which is an app where you can get with multiple people like that don't have an iPhone or Android, and they all have different devices. So you get GroupMe, which is very collaborative and helpful sometimes, group message between students. So it's usually used a lot amongst the students, and there's one for almost every class. So in this particular class, it's a psychology class, but in this particular class, my teacher says it's iffy because we do take our test online. It's a come to person, come to class type of deal, but you take your test online. And so the first thing she says is, like, if you're going to make a GroupMe, be careful. Just be careful, because there's group testing, and if people find out there's group testing, people are going to get in trouble. And it happened. People, we were going through the group chat. People were just asking about study tips, what they're going to be doing, what they're studying and whatnot. And then a couple of students were like, hey, we're going to get together and we're going to, do some studying with quotation marks before the test and take the test together. And a lot of students agreed to do it, and they put a place where and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, just, you would see by like 5 people at a time, like just jet, like they're just gone out of the podcast, like out of the group chat, gone, like never to be seen again. And you were just, everyone was just like, what the fuck's going on? And then I don't know what. And then immediately I thought to myself, like, it didn't occur to me that it was because of the test. And so I go to the group members and I go to the person who created it. And I was like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, is it because people heard about group testing? And she's like, yeah. She's like, Aron, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, oh shit, so it is. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, just in case. And you know, you don't want to be a snitch because snitches get stitches. And so I said, screenshot it, just so that way you know that you weren't a part of it. Just screenshot it, and I know you can't leave it, but end it. She was like, I'm gonna give people, she put in the group chat, she's like, I'm gonna give you guys an hour or like until tomorrow to talk about literally anything, question related towards the test, but no more. She's like, I'm gonna delete the chat, like this is insane. Some people were against it. They were like, no, like just leave it up so that way it's proof that, you know, you weren't a part of it, or, you know, just, you know, go, I don't know, like just leave it up. Or some people were like, no, delete it now. And she messaged, she's like, what do I do? And I'm like, I say, me personally, screenshot it and just take it off. Do it before the test starts, because we have 3 days to take the test online. So I said, do it before the test starts. So she does it. Fast forward after the test, which I did pass. I got a 76 on the test, but my grade's still like an 87 on the whole course. So room for improvement, of course. But anyways, so we get an email and we get an announcement on Blackboard, and we get like a couple at this time. And she's like, it's been brought to my attention that there has been evidence of group testing. Immediately I read that and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I mean, I left the chat. I never posted it like I never messaged in that chat. So I wasn't a part of it. So, and I take my test at home because I feel more confident taking it at home than at school, because when you use the school computers, there's people around you and concentration isn't really there. So I'm like, shit. Like, I checked my grades to make sure I didn't get, oh, well, first, let me finish what she said. She was like, well, it's been brought to my attention. Evidence has been found that there's been group testing. So the people that I found out that had taken the group tests, I have given them the grade that they deserve, and that reflects what they just did, which is 0. And I went ahead and reported them. And they will not have an opportunity to fight or, you know, dismiss whatever I've done until the academic board has come back to me and set a meeting for those students. And immediately I was like, fuck. I was like, there's like 15 people in that chat that said they were down for it too. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, that sucks. And so basically those students, when you get reported in the for academic, for cheating, basically, you could get suspended for a semester. So like this semester, they will be like, none of your grades will count for any of your classes. You could go to them, sure, go to them. Why not? Everything you take is not going to count. They're going to try to type it in. They'll be like, oh, can't, sorry, 0. And that's it. Like that according to what it says, that's basically what's going to happen. If not, next semester, they just can't apply. And so it sucks. They can't register at all. So like, I was like, God damn, like that happened. Like that's the very first time it's happened ever since I've started college. And it's just fucking mind boggling that like, that's an actual case. And so, you know, I mean, there's nothing you could do really. So you just, that's it. And they're done. And I feel bad for them, but you know, I wish them the best. I doubt they're watching this, but hey, if you are, good luck, my dude. I'm sorry that you cheated. But anyways, moving on. Keeping it in the topic of school. So the UTA sports program there is phenomenal, I want to assume. Haven't really been to a game. Been to like a couple of basketball games here and there, but a baseball game, and that's it. Like I mean, that's all you could really go to. There's no football. There's no soccer. So at UTA, I started noticing, and right now it's last week. It was pretty warm. Friday to now till Monday, which I'm recording this on, cold, like cold, and so pretty much people are wearing their jackets. I don't know what, and I've been seeing people that I know who are athletes and on the teams, track, all that stuff. I see them with like cool gear, and then it makes me reminisce about high school, and I'm like, damn, like I would really want to get back on a sports team just to get the cool gear, like nothing else, just to get the cool, like the badass stuff, They were wearing some dope Under Armour gear. Then I saw a couple of people wearing some Lettermans, and I'm like, what's going on here? What's going on here? And so, before I go on, is it Letterman, like Letter, or Leatherman? Leatherman, right? It's a Leatherman or Letterman, whatever. It kind of makes sense either way. So I saw some with some UTA Lettermans, and I was like, wait, you could get those in college? I thought that was just made up from the movie Rudy, from when those fucking big ass jock guy, the fucking O-line guy, where he was leaning up against his car, wearing a fucking Notre Dame Letterman, or like when Rudy was wearing the one that his brother bought him, I thought they were just like souvenirs, like, oh, buy it here at the shop. That's a Letterman. No, I asked them, and only athletes can get them, but they have to pay for them, though. I think that's the case. I don't remember. When I asked them, I didn't ask if they had to pay for them, but they made it sound like they had to pay for them. Like, oh, so like you earn it. They're like, kind of. But, like we still have to, go out of our way and get them. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But, the high school me, the / semi jock, I call myself a semi jock, wanted one. And I'm like, I think I want to learn how to play baseball or run faster so I could just get on the track team and, hey, Letterman, But no. But yeah, they get the coolest things. So seeing them with a Leatherman, it brought back memories. And then, and it's actually pretty cool. It's an all blue Letterman. It has the UTA logo, which is right here on the chest. But like that's it. Like there's no stripes, there was no patches. I think it's like a new thing here at the school because I've been here for a while now, and it just seems fairly normal to me. But anyways, I mean, podcast names, I have a list here. It's Project Rebrand is something that it's in the works. I would need some help with it just because like coming up with names for it's a little hard because first you have to look. When you come up with the name, you have to look for it on the podcast, and you have to make sure there's not one that's called that particular podcast, the one you want. So, some were eliminated, but okay. So from the last podcast, Discombobulated is one of them. I could be like Aron's Discombobulated podcast, or AV Studios brings you Discombobulated, something like that. The after party, the after party. There isn't one on whatever. The Vanguard. That sounds way too, newspapery. Where'd I get it? I don't know. I was watching a show and they said Vanguard, and I was like, Vanguard. What does that really mean? And it's like your strongest person at your frontmost of the army or something, like, I don't know. And so I thought of us like a Vanguard, but no. Interesting. Like oh, that's interesting. Like dot dot dot. Like interesting. Dot dot dot. Something. No. Okay. Whatever. I wonder, you wonder. I mean, I wonder a lot about everything that fucking goes on in my life and the world. Don't you ever wonder? No. Okay. Okay. On to the next one. The try hard. Ah, come on. You can't tell me that doesn't fit with what I'm doing right now. Is being a try hard and going all out and doing whatever I do. We have to make sure that this thing stays alive, because if it turns off, the mic turns off, and then you get the shitty audio from the camera because I don't have a microphone for that camera. Yeah, the try hard's a good one, just because I do try hard a lot in a lot of things, and by no means do I mean like, oh, I'm a hard work. I am hardworking. I consider myself a hard worker, but it's because when I want to do something, I always try hard. Oh. Sorry about that, guys. Got a quick phone call from a coworker of mine who's just phenomenal, man. He just called me just to say, we went back and forth with a couple of words. But anyways, I appreciate him, and he's a great mentor to me. And so, if you're miraculously watching this, thank you. Anyways, I'm back to the podcast. So yeah, try hard. I try hard a lot in a lot of things. Latin vibes. No, that is not happening. LTX, Laredo, Texas podcast, maybe. I'm not in Laredo, Texas, so it wouldn't really work out. One day, maybe. And last one I have is re-generation. So pretty much, the generation of podcasters right now are a lot older, and they're in the front runnings, of course. And so, regeneration, meaning, I want to be the regeneration to my, as much as I hate to say it, I'm a millennial. So, I just want to, regeneration. Real quick, another thing, podcast names. I think I could leave it up to the majority of people to help me if they can with a podcast name. I think it'd be awesome. I want it to be something meaningful, of course, and something that's, thoughtful, but not degrading towards myself or towards anyone else. And so, again, any names, comment them below or message me personally. I mean, hey, I take all feedback. But about feedback, of course, we'll wrap it up with this. So, just some feedback, with the lighting. I agree 100%. Like, you cannot tell me that this is not better lighting than the last video. It is. Natural lighting is always the best, especially when it's like a gloomy-ish day. So like it's like that nice, gloomy light. So it looks nice and bright here. Unfortunately, the window's on this side and not like in front of me, so that way it doesn't look, it still works though. Some other things which I actually do agree with. See this empty space? See that empty space? See this? It's just white, but with an orange circle. What is it? Background. So, of course, I kind of like cinch over here so I could like post like a picture of something that I'm talking about here. Or if I'm like on my phone and I'm screen recording it and, put it right there. And so, background, I do have a lot of posters. I have a lot of mementos around my room. But a friend of mine brought it up that, hey, maybe liven up your background, don't leave it just so white and bland, so it's something that I'm gonna look forward to doing, a little shift around my room, if I must say so myself. So I was also thinking about moving my whole like towards the window, so that way the windows, you know what I'm saying, I have the window in front of me instead of the side, so it's not like, hey, half my face is, lit and the other half is like still in the shadows. We don't want like no Two-Face effect here, all right? Because none of us here are Two-Face, all right? Two-Face. I do have two different sides of me. Two-Face podcast. We'll write it down just in case, just to see how that's going. I mean, like I said, whenever I did want to start doing video podcasts and solo podcasts is because, or the reasoning behind is I don't want to make them that long. The whole purpose behind them, is just a quick rant, and it helps with a stress reliever of mine. Gets things off my mind that I've been thinking about throughout the week, and just sharing them to someone, or to anyone that's watching or listening. It helps out a lot. Just for like a little extra cash on the side, but like this is like not to help pay bills or nothing like that. Like I make decent amount of money from my jobs, and I appreciate my jobs, and like I don't hate any of them. I'm gonna start doing like Postmates, DoorDash, shit like that for a reason. So, I feel like it will be a good form of donating to my own podcast. So it's like, that's the money I grab from, instead of like, let me save for like 3 months to like get this one item for my podcast. So like a microphone, like the ones that I want range from $70 to $100 for the camera. And so, to have to go ahead and purchase one of those, it's going to be a little tough. So, the idea is to Postmate and save up for one of those. So like a couple of Postmates here and there, or DoorDash, whatever. But I got all my stuff in, and maybe I'll start today, because I really don't have anything to do today besides maybe like I'll start on some homework that's due later, but it's never a bad thing to start early, right? So, if you guys have any podcast names, go ahead and write them down below, and let me know. Any more feedback will be, of course, welcome. I'm still in the process of also logos and pictures wise, and just to see what's going on. And so if you are watching this, guys, check out the podcast on Spotify. No, there you go. I told you I was going to work on that, but I didn't. I've been busy. But check it out on SoundCloud and iTunes. The links will be in the description below. Not only that, you guys can also check out the AV Podcast Instagram page, AV_podcast. Again, everything below. And my personal Instagram, Aron Villegas03. Trying to work on getting it just Aron. That'd be pretty dope. But, thanks guys for all the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for checking out the YouTube video. I know it's hard to get to because I'm not the giant YouTube numbers wise, so it's hard to find mine, but it's findable. You could find it. So I'm gonna try my best to try to link it to more places, so that way it's easier to find. Yeah, because last time I didn't do that great of broadcasting it or like spreading the word out for the YouTube page. So thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, because guess what, that helps, because then that means I'm doing something wrong, so that way I could find a way to fix it. But if you guys are enjoying it, share it with all your friends, share it with your family. Like I said, I just want this to be a quick 30-minute ramble session. Hey, maybe you're eating food and you're solo. I do that a lot. So like some of the comedians that do solo podcasts, I'll watch them and they'll rant or they'll talk about their week, or they'll fucking make jokes about something while I'm eating at my house by myself. And it's like a good type of company deal, I guess. That made me sound like a loner, and I promise you I'm not. It's just when I'm home by myself, I watch that. So anyways, guys, thank you guys again for tuning in to the podcast. Remember to check out Out of the Blue Beadwork. It will be in the description as well. Hope y'all have a nice rest of your week and weekend. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Come on.